Morning.
Good morning.
So, wo bist du jetzt?
We are in Nice.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Yeah, beautiful. Beautiful.
Okay.
Right near the water. Okay, we are on 16.
Mm-hmm.
On Rabbanon. No, we didn't. Armor Rav, Efshar, to not sell them wheat, because we said we can't sell them almond, because it helps them in their battles. So the Gemara asks, well, why can we sell them wheat and barley? It helps them too. Because if we don't sell them food, they're going to hate us. The Gemara says we don't sell them armor, is the same thing. Amri trace and hainu taima shelo l'chishom zinayu katli begavayu. Run out of ammunition.
16.
Use
8.
the arbor to kill.
16.
We're on 16 on A. They'll use the army to kill. Some people say, Moshelam trace him. We can sell them armor. Because the Chishon Zinayu Markarki, when they run out of their ammunition, they run away and they don't use the armor for killing people. Armor of Nachman, armor of Avu, Allah ki yeshomim, that you can sell them armor. Arvada baravein mazkirim lahen ashashis shel barzel. We don't send them, pieces of metal. Again, I guess you could my time mishum dechashim minayu. Because they make weapons out of it, then they're going to kill Jews. So we don't sell them other things that can be used to. This is some.
Hose.
Rashi says Ushir, Duldaria. We don't sell that they make out of them weapons as well. Maziba Parsala Hindua, Indian metal. That's the problem because that they can make weapons out of. So the Gemara now says that now in Bavel we sell them ammunition. Because we sell to Persians that protect us. The Persians get invaded by the Romans, and Jews are saved by that. So we can sell them weapons. Then Agolim Musyakim, we don't sell them calves. Tanyarid or Matir Shavura, if it's got a broken leg. Just because it can't live. But they use it for giving birth to other calves. And since you're going to do that, you're going to keep it. And it's like an RSI, and people will think you can sell behema gasois to the non-Jews. He didn't believe it. An animal that's broken cannot be moilid. So amalom kabel zachar, because a male will not copulate with it. Bemeser matir besus. Bemeser allows you to sell a horse to a goy. Tanya bemeser matir besus. Mibneshu oisem malacha shen chayim l'mechatas. Remember, a beast of burden like a ox plows, which is a malacha where you're chayiv chatas for. But riding a horse is only midrabanon. So there's no reason not to sell him a horse. However, Rabbi Oyser they shneid for him. 2 reasons. Echad mishum tors kli zayin. They do use it for war. The echad mishum tors be'makaso. It's like other big animals. Bishma tors kli zayin ikad katil beschufe. That a horse can kill people. Ela tors be'makasamaihi. What is that? If the horse gets older, it's not fit for milchama. They could turn a grinding wheel, and therefore that's a malacha that you can't do on Shabbos. However, that you can sell to a goy a horse. shorshel petem, a ox that you fatten for shchita, mao. Tibor lefi Rav Yehuda, tibor Rabbanan. Tibor Rav Yehuda ad kan lekosher Rav Yehuda b'shvura. Rav Yehuda mattered if the cow had a broken leg. The lo asi l'chla malacha, because then it couldn't be worked. Aval hai, but this one that you're gonna fatten and you're gonna keep it around. Asi l'chla malacha is gonna do some work that's also on Shabbos, so they're also odilma. We say the abavilushit it's rabbanon that normally prohibit loikos rihasam. They argue with Rav Yehuda and say you can't sell even a cow with a broken leg, because most of those were not eaten; they were used for work. Avalhai, but this ox, which is clearly being made for fattening, which is tashach, the stomach koi. I feel rabbanan shari. Even the chachamim would admit that you could sell it to them. Toshma, Amir Shmuel, Susie, Sue. Can you close that door? Torshmam Ravidam Shmuel. Shall base Rebbe Makrivin Shorshal Petem Bionedam. They would offer one of these fatted cows to the ruler on the day of their holiday. However, Chaser Arba Rivivin, they would bribe them She'en Makrivin Sohayom El Lamacha, that they wouldn't offer it on a holiday day, but tomorrow. And then the Chaser Arba Rivin She'en Makrivin Chayel Shochut. They gave them another amount of money so that they convinced them not to makriv it to their Avodah Zarah live, but rather shecht, because I guess it's not the normal way of Avodah Zarah. The Chasar Abba Arvin, they gave them more bribery, shein makriv naso kol liquor, that they shouldn't be makriv it at all. My time, lav mishum dilmid asa lishui. Well, again, maybe not to sell it to them because they're going to keep it around and do mlacha. The Gemara says, no, why do they want them not to offer it on the day of the holiday the next day? My time, huh? Ella, Rebbe Me'aker Milsa boy. He wanted to prevent the whole thing. He didn't want them to have to pay this tax. He would get rid of the whole thing a little bit by bit. First, do it tomorrow, then do it not live. And then he gave more bribe not to do it at all. And meanwhile, the chimashu le'borvavid, but while their animals by the hegmoin there, it's going to get fat, and they're going to do malacha. On Ravashi, Omar Li, Zvida bar Toira Mashin Leva Ovid Al Chad Train. In fact, it by fattening it out, it can do twice as much work, and therefore it was not a good idea. Ein moichlem dubin varayos. You don't sell to goyim bears or lions. Anything that could lead to public danger. Ein boinehem imoim basiliki. These are like big buildings that made out of columns.
It's a church.
Well, no, we'll see. It's not the basilica. Basilica is a church. These are large constructs with columns. We'll see what they're used for. Basiliki Gardom. This is like the place where they would adjudicate people to death. Oatstida, like a stadium. Ubima, a place, I guess, where they would execute people, I think. It's Tida, Rashi says, is a bullfights place. And they would gore people and they would die.
Wow.
And Bima Shel Eitz Oisel Bazar, they would push people off this bima to kill them. Aval Boyalahem Bimasos the base mechatzos. You could build with them smaller bimos or bathhouses. Then when they reached the dome of the place, which now was done for Avodah Zarah, then Osir Livnas. You can't that you couldn't, or they would put the pestle there, they would put the idol there, 2 shitas, then you had to stop working with them. A large chaya, which is not a behemoth, not a domesticated animal, it's like a behemoth daka, lepirchus. This is, when you shecht an animal and it's still moving after shchita, it's still alive, but the shchita allows you to eat it. This is an animal that was ill before you shechted it, and then they shechted it quickly before it would die. If it doesn't move, then it's usher with the shchita. Avalola mechira, but a chai is not like a behemoth regarding the prohibition of selling it to a goy. You can't sell a behemoth gasa to a goy, but not a chaya. Chaya. V'ani omer af lemechira, selling a chaya gasa is like it depends on the minig. Shemakam shagulim kor mochrin. In a minig, places where they would sell it, you could continue selling. Shalolim kor mochrin. However, based on what you just said, Tanah we learn in Mishnah, ein mochlan dubin varayos, which is a chaya gasa. Lo kol davar sheyesh bo nezek rabim. Taima the is be nezek rabim. So I'm telling minig halesbe, implying that if there was no public sakana, shari, it's not, there would be no isser. Amrav baravula, you can't, there's no raya from here. Bari shavur, it's a lion that had a broken leg. It's not roilim lacha. Malibad Rav Yehuda, who said that a behema shvura you can sell to them, even a behema gasser. But if it's a chaya gasser, if it's not broken leg, then you can't sell them like a regular behema gasser. Rabashi Amar, you don't have to come up with a lion with a broken leg. Stamari shavur who ate some malacha. Lions don't do domesticated work. And so any lion is like a lion with a broken leg regarding malacha. So then there's no chashash that they're going to work it on Shabbos. So we ask a steer on presumably you can sell a chaya gasa. However, the Brisa says just like you can't sell be'ema gasa, kachem mochem chaya gasa. Even in a place where you could sell small animals like sheep and goats, chaya gasa and mochem chaya. To use the Rav Chanan bar Rabba, the Kashan Rav Chanan says it's permitted to use to knock them out of the box. Ravina Rami Masisna Brisa. Ravina would show the steer between the Mishnah and the Brisa, Mishani, and would make he would resolve it. It's not. Ein Michael, it says in the Mishnah, in Michael Ham Dubin Varayos, you can't sell bears and lions. Right? In the Wizard of Oz, lions, tigers, and bears. Oh my. I'm just thinking, how did they, so here's lions and bears and lions. Right? Taima the isbe nezek. It's so only an animal that's dangerous. Halesbe nezek moikrin. That's the Mishnah says it. But v'riminu, Brisa is shown not to be like that. Kshem shein moikrin be'magasa, kachem chai gasa. Filu moikrin shabachim be'medakah, chai gasa moikrin. So you don't sell chai gasa at all, which is a steer to the Mishnah. Mishani and Ravina was able to be metarates bari shavur. The Tanaitic source that said is permitted, it's an ari with a broken leg. But Rav Yehuda in the previous Gemara that said the behema with a shvura was permitted. Ravashi Amrstari Shavar Eitzumalach. That's where Ravashi comes in and says all lions are like broken because they don't do malacha. Masker of Nachman. Man lemalon sharichai gasahi. First of all, I need someone to tell me that a lion is considered a big chaya. Maybe it's like a sheep and goat. It's a small animal. Rav Ashi Daik Masnisin Moisef Tiyufta. Rav Ashi was Medaik within a mission and he brought a strong kasha. It's not. Ein Moisef Adun Varayos. You can't sell to a goy bears and lions. Anything that had public safety issues. Taima, this benezek, a less benezek boichet. If it was not dangerous, you could sell. The taima ari, shtamari shavrit malacha. You can sell an ari because a regular ari is broken regarding malacha. Avomidi achrini, but other chayes, the other malacha that do work law, you would not be able to sell, which is tiyut Rav Chanan bar Rava, tiyut. So we knocked him out of the box a different way. Chaya gasa mis my malacha avda. What kind of undomesticated, like a wild animal, does domesticated work? An arod is a wild, like a wild donkey. And they would use those animals to grind wheat. When we learned in Yeshiva Rav Yehuda, Amarlan, I heard from an Adam Gadol, I don't know whether it was from Rabbi Shmuel. A large chay is like regarding shchita, that if the animal is about to die and you shecht it very quickly, so as if the animal moved after shchita, you'd be allowed to eat it. The shchita would matir it to eat. If there was no movement, it means that it was sick or treifa before you shechted it and you can't eat it. Ki asay lekorkunya, when he went to Korkunya, Ashke Rav Chia Barat, Rav Ashi, he found Rav Chia v'Yosef Kamer Mishmei Shmuel. He saw him learning in the name of Shmuel. Chaya Gasa Reikum Behem Adakal Lepirchos. That a Chaya Gasa is like a regular behem, a large behem, regarding this Indian of Pirchos Reish Shchita. And Amina Shmamina Mishmei Shmuel. I thought that he did it in the name of Shmuel. But Kiasoy L'Suram went to a different place. He saw Rabbi Bar Yirmiyah learning the same thing, and he did it in the name of Rab. That Chai Gasa he kamei Madak L'Pirchus, and Amina Shmaminai Itmar Mishmei Rab, V'Itmar Mishmei Shmuel. So now we have Mesora that this halacha was one person brought it in the name of Rab, one person brought it in the name of Shmuel. Kisalik Lahasam, when I made Aliyah Eretz Yisrael, Ashke Ravasi Yosef Go'amar, I heard Ravasi teach Amr of Chama Barguya Mishmei Derav, Chayagas Arei Kebehema Dekal Pirchus, and Army law, and I said to him, V'lo Sovel Amar, the Man Mar Deshmaitza, that who is the owner of this Sugi Rabbi Bar Yirmiyah? Why didn't you say it in his name? Amr Lei Pasya Ulsma. A person who learned so much Torah, Minayim Menechtis Time Shmaitza, then I will use my name and use your name to finish the names of the people that brought this halacha. And that's why Itmar Nami, Amr of Zera, Amr of Asi, Amr of Yirmiyah, Amr of Chama Bar Guriya, he included everybody. Except Shmuel. Ain't boinin. We said you don't build a basilica with them. Amr of Rav Chunam Rav Yechon, Shalish Basilikoisein. There are three types of basilicas. Shamlachim, a large room built for kings, shel machotzos, bathhouses, shel oitzor, it's like a machsan, like a storehouse. On Rava, naim leheter, two of them you'd be allowed to build. The echad mehem le'iser, you would not allow. The simin le'eser malchem bezikim, the ones of a melech, because the melech use it to kill. Ikid yamar Rava kulam leheter. Rava says you could bring all of them. These are places that people would die. Ema gardum v'shel itztada v'shel bima. Yeah, now we're medayik that it's a description. What kind of basilica? A basilica of gardum v'shel itztadia v'shel bima. These are places made, like we said, either for bullfights or to kill people, right? But a basilica that has no din of hariga, then you're allowed to build with them. Tarabanan. Kishnitfas Rav Eliezer leminus. The government suspected he was a Christian. The word min means Maimen Yeshu Notzri. The Romans believed in ancient religions, so they respected Judaism. But any new religion, they did not respect. So the early Christians were persecuted by the Romans. That's why the Androcles in the lion, there's all sorts of, they would throw the Christians to the lions. They thought there was kishuf involved. Now, for some reason, we don't know why, Rabbi Eliezer was accused of this. Hileo legardim lidon, so they were going to put him into this garden to adjudicate him to death. Amrlo also hegmon, so the judge said, Zakein, you Talmid Chacham, shekamoschi, yasuk b'dvarim b'tim aloli, should get involved in Christianity. Amrlo neman alai hadayin. You know what? I put my life in your hands, right? Because for so hegmon, alavu oimer, right? The judge thought Rabbi Eliezer was referring to him, the judge. But Hulo Amrela Keneged Aviv Shem Shemayim, he put his hands in Hashem. He had trust in Hashem that he was going to save. And that if for whatever reason he was accused of it and punished for it, it must be Min Hashemayim, he was roy for it. So the judge was impressed that you trust in my judgment, Dimus. He said you're innocent. Okay, so he went on. The Talmidim came in to comfort him. Well, that he had been accused of this. He was upset that he had come into suspicion of this. So Rabbi Kiva's Talmud asked for permission to tell him one thing that he taught him, so that he could make him feel better. Or Rabbi. Shema minus balayadcha v'ina'acha. Maybe you had a thought of some kind of minus and you had hana from it, and maybe that's enough that you got accused. Okay, so here at 6 p.m. Shabbos here starts 9:30, but